So hello everybody. So excited to actually have you and join me on this video. First, I want to congratulate you on signing up and getting your real estate business moving. I'm sure you will have some questions as to the first couple of things that we have you do. And one of those is going to be the 90-day fast track. So some of the common things and questions that we might have, we're going to cover on this. And we figured the best way to come and actually handle those were to come and give you a video. It's just the most effective way so you can come back and watch these over and over and over again while you're going through your 90-day fast track, so you know why we do the things that we do and why this is so important to you on your business. The other piece is on this is that, people will ask just very simply, why is this so important to do? This will create for you or help you drill down on certain things in your business that how your business will run. So depending on how much budget you have and how much time and bandwidth you have, you're going to structure business around that to deliver on what your goals are. So let's not waste too much time on this. Let's get right into it. And I want to walk you through step by step as to which sections are which and what they entail. So on this one, this is going to be the first page. And we always start out with this because it's very simple. Why are you doing this? Is going to be one of the biggest things that drives you and your business to stay on track and keep you on track to get to your goals. Your why is probably, you hear it a lot, but people really don't understand the reason behind it. When everything is going great and it's all, sunshine and rainbows, it's easy to stay on track. But when things get a little tough in life in general, or something doesn't go right in your business, or a deal falls out of contract, something along those lines, the reason why you're doing this is going to bring you right back on track and keep your goals aligned. So some of the questions that we ask in here is, how will it change your life, your partner's life, your spouse's life, your kids' lives, your parents' lives, what you're doing? Who else is counting on you to succeed? What are some of the biggest rewards you'll enjoy by succeeding in your real estate business? How will that make you feel to enjoy the rewards? So I want you to actually take a moment and actually think of those and actually put yourself in the position of how that would make you feel when you're coming up with the reason why, and that level of achievement and success will drive you to actually answer these questions real intimately. And then one of the bigger ones, also write down, and we actually encourage that, write down what is the real cost you will pay if you give up, or you don't follow through, or you don't continue with this business. How would that make you feel? Who would you let down in your life besides yourself if you gave into your fears? Because that's all they are. They're limiting beliefs, and they're your own fears that are getting in your own way. There we go. The next piece that we do is after you've taken some time to write that out and really go in depth into it, and I recommend reread it and rewrite it a couple times, what are some words that come to mind when you think about money? So what are some of the feelings that you get from it, and what are some of the things and results that you get from money? So some of those might be like, it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel free. It gives you control. It relieves stress. And then also on the next part, write down some words that you relate to when you think of rich people. Whatever that is in your idea, in your mind, write down some words that come to mind when you think of rich people. How do they hold themselves? How do they handle their day? Are they consistent? Are they determined? Things like that. The reason why is because you want to write down the things that you relate to when it comes to money, and the things that you relate to when it comes to rich people or wealthy people or secure people, because after that, you really want to ask the question to yourself, okay, great. I know what that person looks like. How do I relate to that? And then what do I have to do in order to emulate that personality and get to that level? It might be some simple mind shift changes. It might be some lifestyle changes. It might be some financial changes. It might be a mix of all. If it's none of them, then chances are you are that rich person with a lot of money and a great lifestyle. So that's why we have that piece in there. And then as you step into the next pieces, we step in a little bit deeper into ratings. So from scales from 1 to 10. The reason we rate things from scales on 1 to 10, 1 being poor, 10 being a rock star, is because it becomes very clear in there as to where you are in that particular field, in that particular topic. Some things you might be a 10 on in life. Other things you might be a 1. And there's obviously grades in there. The reason why is because you need to know where you need to improve upon and where you're already doing well. This will help who's ever actually coaching, mentoring you, moving you to the next process, which for these, it's going to be us, to actually build and customize a program and know where we need to focus on to get you from, say, a number 2, 3, or 4 up to a 7, 8, 9, 10. Because as we all know, if you score a 2 out of 10, that's failing, and you need to be 6, 7s, 8, 9s, and 10s in your business and in the areas that you need to in order to come and get a check. Because that's the main purpose, is to come and set up a business that's repeatedly delivering on checks for you. The other reason why we actually come and rate things is some of those items you may be able to outsource them. So if it's a task that necessarily like you're not too strong in, like let's say technology or something like that has always been mine, I outsource that to people who are professionals that are 9s and 10s in technology. I might be a 4 or 5, so I understand the concept, but I outsource that and I focus on the areas that I am 9s and 10s and I find joy in that actually make money for everybody. So that's why you'll hear us even rating calls. You'll see that. It'll be on scales from 1 to 10. It helps to keep everything in track. On the bottom here, you're going to see some just questions. So these are more on the limiting belief questions. So sometimes, people will say, well, why haven't you succeeded? What's holding you back? And a lot of the times it is not the resources that they have available. It's more of the lack of resourcefulness and what their limiting beliefs are that they have convinced themselves as to why they can't achieve certain things. So like it takes money to make money in real estate. We already know that's false. It's false. You can buy a house with no money out of your own pocket. I mean, you just can. Does it help? Yeah, money helps. And having sources for money definitely makes it easier. But if you're wholesaling, you need actually very little money. It's marketing dollars and moving forward. So that's some of the questions down here just for mindset. As you actually grow in your business and step into here, the cash flow section, the access to cash, access to quick cash. The reason we put these together is a few things. It depends where you are in your business. If you're just looking to come and wholesale, you probably don't need much on the upfront besides marketing dollars and business tool setup and monthly overhead for those. However, if somebody is already currently rehabbing, if you're currently rehabbing, you're going to need access to capital. And it's always a good idea to write down where your access to capital is prior to a deal. You'd be surprised, just getting a little creative, how much money you actually have or have access to. So this breaks that down and actually starts to put together something of a budget for you when it comes if you're just wholesaling and you want to do marketing, or if you're rehabbing, access to capital and the creative financing side, sometimes you want to keep them. So you want to have access to that money quickly, because if you want to keep it, you probably have about 2 to 3 weeks to come and close on it. You don't want to have to try and struggle to figure it out later. You want to have it now and know about it. The next piece on this is time factor. So the reason this is very important in any business is because this will dictate, besides your budget, how active or passive you want to be in your business. If somebody only has 10 to 15 hours, you can't have a highly active business. You have to outsource some things so that they are passive and they deliver on you. So that might be tools, that might be a marketing budget for inbound calls that you pay for, that generate inbound leads, that might have a general contractor on your team to help manage projects. That might be a whole different set of business than somebody who has 60 hours because they're retired and they have plenty of hours at their disposal. That person can cold call phone calls all day long, and they'll be happy to do it because some people love doing it. I like making phone calls. So this piece here will break down what your week looks like And you want to have realistically somewhere between 10 and 15 hours, especially in the beginning part, at least per week, to come and part-time run your real estate business. If you have more time, great. Less time becomes a struggle, because the less time that you have, the slower you're going to go. The more active you have and the less budget you have, typically is slower. Higher budget, you can typically do it faster. Why? Because you can do a marketing campaign that will generate inbound leads for you, and it's a 30-minute conversation and a schedule to set it up and to write a check, as opposed to generating a list of for sale by owners and cold calling 300 people. That's a lot more challenging, a lot more active, takes more time. And then also, like, we step into the caring factor, and then the giving factor. So we step into these because it's important. Not only, yes, you're going to make money, you're going to deliver on your goals, but money is important. It is a tool. What are you going to do with the money? That's really what is the important piece in there. Money is just a tool. It's what you're going to do with it, which really gives it substance, which really pushes that why. So it's always good to actually give back a little bit of caring, whether it be charities or something like that, or a donation, whatever it is that means something to you. It's different for every person. It's definitely good to come and write that down and have set goals, because as you make money, you want to know where to put it and what to do with it. The next piece in there. So the next piece in there is we're going to step into like a 90-day like marketing. So on the marketing piece, you want to come and understand. So right now, you're not really going to know what your marketing campaign is looking like, but it is to plant the seed, this piece here, as to the different strategies that you can use and that we are going to use to customize your marketing plan for you based on your budget, your bandwidth, and your time, and how active or passive you want your business. Each one of those models has a different marketing plan attached to it to deliver on what your goals are. If you're looking for more on the creative investing side, as opposed to you are to rehabbing, it's going to be a different marketing campaign to deliver a different lead inbound. So in here, we just give some different activities that you could do, different marketing, and then commit certain hours, amount of hours to it. It's just good to actually write that down. There we go. So in here in the beginning, you're probably not going to know exactly which one to come and do, but the purpose is to get you writing down and taking action so that you can actually start planting seeds as to what you would be interested in doing. And the reason why we say switch it up each week is a few different things. You just don't want to fall into one strategy. One strategy gives one result, and if that strategy is not as effective in your area or hits a slow point, your whole marketing campaign starts to dip. So you have to be a little diversified on your marketing. It's a marketing campaign. It's not just one idea or strategy. So we step into a little bit of education. We always encourage education. You will never stop learning. You will never stop taking educational courses, reading books, just growing as a person and a professional. So we always, step back into it, and you always want to push forward with it. You want to have definitely some goals every year for education. Like one of my goals is I read X amount of books per month. Typically, it's 3. I'm a slow reader, so I read about 3 books per month. I meet up groups, educational courses, different platforms, mentorships, all the above. You want to always continue to grow, because as you grow at education, you can add to your tool belt and get X amount of deals done more quickly, easily, and with more profit. So these are just listing some kind of ways that you can come and write down your goals so that you can stay committed to them. So on the next piece, we have building your team. So stepping into that piece, if you're brand new, you're probably not going to have anything but the mentor and coach on the top line, and that's okay. If you've been rehabbing or you've bought some properties and buy and holds before, you're probably going to have a good majority of these already filled out. Don't sweat it, but understand that if you're just starting out at some point in your business, these are most of the positions that you're going to come and need and have to fill. So as you're talking to other investors and going to networking groups, you should always be pulling referrals from those other investors that are already doing what it is that you want to do, so that you can actually grow your team and have those people ready. So that you're not searching when the deal comes up or when you need it. You already have them in your Rolodex, and you're building your own Rolodex of pipeline for people with quality referrals from other investors, and grow that team out as your business goes. So building your team, financial allocation of money. Just pause 1 second. There we go. Now we're on. So in here, basically, it's allocation of money, financial planning. So we always like to put some sort of budget to your marketing campaign. Here is the reality. If your phone is not ringing, you're probably not getting any checks. Somebody who tells me that their phone rings once or twice a week, I could tell you what their bank account looks like. The name of this business is marketing. We are a marketing and people business. We deal with people, we connect with human beings, and we are a marketing company. Your phone must ring. So in this piece, this is setting a budget, a monthly budget. And this, just so everybody is clear, will go ongoing for the rest of your life as long as you are doing real estate investing. You always want to have a monthly budget allocated for your marketing, because as that machine runs, it will need fuel. So sometimes marketing dollars or somebody actively generating those leads and those inbound calls. This piece here really takes some time, and you want to come up with a realistic budget that you can consistently run to make your phone ring. So I'll be clear so I guess the easiest way to put it is, the bigger the budget, the more passive your marketing can be. If you come up and you say, I have zero budget, we do have a marketing campaign for that. But that is the most active structure. That is the most active campaign, meaning you are generating all the leads. So you're posting on all social medias, you're cold calling and generating your own lists, you're reaching out to people and calling 150 people a day, you're putting bandit signs out and flyers and mail, indoors and stuff like that. That is you. You are actively doing that with a zero budget. Can it be done? Absolutely. But understand, it has to coincide with what your goals are and how much bandwidth and time you have. Somebody says, I want a super active business with no budget and I have 5 hours a week to allocate. We have to make some shifts, because that doesn't make sense. If you have limited time and bandwidth, you'll probably need a little bit more of a budget so that you can come and deliver on what your goals are for the marketing. So on this piece here, it's going to be ongoing. So we always come back to after action at the end of almost every call, at the end of every session, at the end of every deal. Your after action is really where your growth is going to happen, period. Whether you succeeded or whether you had a couple hiccups, or even if you failed. What it's going to take once you have this game plan put together and we customize your marketing, get you up and rolling with the first few calls, is it's going to take massive amounts of action. So what I mean by that is you can have focused action. So if you only have 10 to 15 hours per week, it has to be focused hours. So no YouTube, a separate screen, turn the TV off, put your phone down, get some peace and quiet, and just massive focused action. And what that will do is give you an after action review of how you did. So we always ask these questions on the after action review. What did I do well last week? What area could I improve upon this week as a result of monitoring last week? So in other words, like, what can I do different this week that I didn't achieve last week to have a better week? What have I learned or distinctions made this week? So what have I learned? So in other words, like, if I have no inbound calls and I don't have any appointments, you can't expect to have any contracts and deals. So I always look back to marketing and calls and deals. Well, I haven't had any deals. Okay, well, let's take a look back at your inbound calls. What have we been doing? That's always going to dictate how many calls you have, is your marketing campaign and how active you are in doing it. And what questions do I need answered from my mentor? So everything that we do, you will have questions. You will have different levels of questions. You will have burning desire questions that you're like, I can't really move forward because I'm stuck on this and I need an answer before I can go forward. And then you'll have little one-offs that are kind of like just curiosities that you need help to kind of bump you along. Whichever they are, we recommend bring all of them to the table. If they're a burning desire question, in the link section of Teamwork, I put a 15-minute one-on-one call. That is designed for those burning desire questions that you're like, hey, I'm stuck on this and I need some help so I can move forward. That's going to be, again, in the link section of Teamwork. I recommend using them. It's every Tuesday, Thursday from 10 to 1. If you need 2 time blocks, schedule 2 time blocks. I'm okay with that. It's first come, first serve for those. If it's a one-off little like question like, hey, just out of curiosity, I always recommend use the chat in Teamwork. Use the live messaging chat. You know, we see those, we get back to you as soon as we possibly can, but you can continue to go on with whatever task you're working on at the time. That's pretty much about it for this video. So I really hope that this kind of just cleared it up. Again, congratulations. I'm super excited for you. Make sure that when you're done with this, to upload it back into Teamwork, because right after this, it's going to be Review to Mentorship Study Guide, and we're going to schedule your first call as soon as this is uploaded. So looking forward to it, and talk to you later.